Doris and I were married in July of 1956. It was 3 months later that I got my notice from Uncle Sam. I was drafted into the service. I spent the first 2.5 months in basic training at Fort Carson, Colorado. Beautiful country, but it was cold weather, February, sleeping outside. From there, I went to Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, and that's where Doris joined me. One thing I remember about Fort Monmouth was that we had parades almost every Saturday during the summer months, especially. It was a lot of fun, but I enjoyed getting out of many of them, which I was able to because of my size. If you'll notice here in the parade that the tallest is on the right-hand side in the front, and the shortest is on the back left-hand side. So there I am. I made the parade that day, but oftentimes I would get knocked off because you had to have a complete row. Now this is the parade field.
That's where I watched many a parade. I could always find Chet. He was the shortest one and always in the back row.
Yeah, that building in the back there is guest housing, and then Doris's mom and dad came to visit us. They stayed there.
We had a great time when they came.
Fort Monmouth is a great place. Really enjoyed our time. We were there a little over 9 months. A wonderful time. Of course, what was great about it, I was able to introduce Doris to some of my growing up area, my birthplace, and also to meet some of the relatives that I hadn't seen in a long time. And of course, she had never got to know them, especially Grandma and Grandpa. We'll see them a little bit later on. Now, here's a little apartment that we had, and we were getting ready to go. This happened to be a Saturday that we didn't have a parade, apparently. And we're on our way up to, I think we went to New York City on this trip, but I'm not sure. We'll see in a minute. But there's the old car, 1956 Plymouth. I was able to buy that brand new car, and I thought we were not going to be able to keep it, but the government and AT&T made it possible. So there's the Garden State Parkway. We're on our way to New York City this particular weekend. We often went across the ferry boat to Manhattan, and off to the left you'll see the Statue of Liberty. Beautiful sight.
There it is.
Now, right in that same area, of course, is the where is it the immigrants all came into?
Ellis Island.
Ellis Island, right. So that's where my grandparents, all four of them, came into the United States from that point of entry. Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beautiful skyline picture there. Skyline of New York coming across from Staten Island on the ferry boat. Quite an impressive thing for us to see that.
Oh, yeah.
After we got off of the boat and onto the Manhattan, we took the tour, and there we're going past the United Nations building, a flag that represents every country that's a part of the United Nations.
Very impressive.
Now, another trip we took was to Washington, D.C., and went to all of the different monuments. That was Abraham Lincoln. Now we're looking at the, I don't know what they call that, something pool. Anyway, there's the Washington Monument at the far side. And you'll see Doris coming up out of the water.
I was swimming. With my purse.
That's my 18-year-old bride there coming out of there. We'd just been married, just a short time. Now this is, what is it?
The Unknown Soldier.
Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, right, at the Arlington National Cemetery. Yeah.
It was, just can't believe watching how you felt when you were really there. It was really, really hot. And the one man standing, not marching, but standing at attention, holding the flag with one hand, and evidently he wavered just a tiny bit, and the guy standing next to him reached out and grabbed that flag with one hand, and they're heavy, and well, the soldier holding the flag passed out. And the other one stood there holding two flags. They never touched the ground.
If the sound effects would have been on there, you'd have heard the tap
Oh, yeah.
on their shoes, and on that marble was great. And this is just right outside of the Arlington Cemetery is the Iwo Jima Monument, and that's the flag raising there on Mount Suribachi, and the replica of it. And I think you see Doris will be standing there looking up at it.
I already, that's already passed.
Already passed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're,
You're a
now
little
we're,
behind.
yeah. That picture that we just missed was Washington's home at Mount Vernon. And now we're looking at Lincoln's memorial, and then there's the Jefferson. The city is just beautiful with memorials. It's one thing we didn't get in the pictures here is Embassy Row, where all of the ambassadors from different countries are. Quite an impressive place. And there's a shot of the Capitol building. Just one of our favorite places to visit. Wouldn't want to live there, but to go and see. There's lots to see and do. A lot of guys dressed in their uniforms. Servicemen were all over the place at that time. Coming up here next is the White House. I think we went past that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, which you can't do today, but you see the cars going by it. We were able to walk right close to it through the fence there.
Yeah.
Now,
We didn't
course,
walk through the fence. We
No.
looked through the fence.
You're right. Now that's all restricted. You can't get that close to it.
Yeah, it's too bad. See the Navy men walking by.
Yeah.
Just really
Yeah.
nice looking.
Well, now I'm not sure where we are. Oh, okay,
Oh.
right. This was another trip that we went up to High Point Park, New Jersey, which is Sussex County, and it's the highest point in the state. And that was my brother Ed and his friend. They're coming down the steps right now. And also Ellie was there, and Doris. And now we're in Asbury Park, where Doris
I worked at the learner shop, and this is my boss and I coming out of the store, Miss Casserly. I don't know how I remember her name, but that's who it was.
It looks like we're getting ready for another trip. Yeah.
We traveled a lot.
Yeah, right. Okay, this is the Garden State Parkway. Now, this is in the fall of the year, so we're getting ready to leave pretty soon to go get my assignment to go to Japan. And we went to Florida, of course, from there. But I think this is on our way to another trip up to Patterson. In fact, there it is. Yeah,
Yes.
now there's the city of Patterson, and that's Lambert Castle. And we went there for a sunrise service, and it's one that we went there with my aunt and uncle, Uncle Jake and Betty and
there's
Ellie.
Ellie.
But Uncle
Uncle
Jake
Jake.
said that Mom and well, the whole family, him and my mom, which is Ida, they would go there every year to that.
There's Bobby in his uniform.
He had a parade that day, and Agnes and Uncle Jake that was our home away from home. They really made us very comfortable there.
And Ann and Bobby, they were just very gracious. I'm sure they got tired of seeing us coming, but
Yeah,
they
right.
They were nice about it.
And Ellie and Betty would join us for many of the weekends. Yeah, great memories.
I think we're at Grandma and Grandpa's there. Yes.
Now we're going at Grandma and Grandpa's. At that time, my grandfather, I think, was 91, and my grandmother was 92. And she had been bedridden for several years, but he was still able to take care of her. And we had just some wonderful visits with them. Grandma, of course, would sometimes tell me stories about something in her childhood, and she would say, "Oh, Chet, you remember that, don't you?" And finally, I just said, "Oh, yes, Grandma."
And Grandpa, that's Ann Weech, the cousin, with us too. And Grandpa would always make streusel,
Coffee cake.
Coffee cake.
Yeah,
for
that's
us.
something that he did when we were growing up, and he still was doing it at his age of 91.
Yeah, and it was good. He'd make tea.
Now, yeah, two of his daughters lived just down the street from there. Now they lived on a little lane off of a road though that was called Weiman's Boulevard, and it was named after Grandpa Weiman because he built many of the houses in the area. So from I don't know what it was called before that, but anyway, they made an official title of the Weiman's Boulevard, and some beautiful homes along there now. there's Grandpa saying goodbye to Grandma, giving her a kiss on the hand. They were a very sweet, loving couple. Got fond memories of them.
This is back to Aunt Agnes and Uncle Jake's and Anna and Bobby's house. We used to call her Sis, and she decided she didn't want to be called Sis. So she charged everybody a dime every time you called her Sis. And whenever we'd put money in her bank, she'd say, "Oh, no, you don't have to do it." Now we're at...
Now, we're in Florida now.
Right.
On my way to Japan by way of Florida. And that was Frances with her back to us, and also Doris. And Dick was there in his red and white checked shirt. He worked for Purina feed store, and that was the checkerboard was their emblem there. I don't know if we can catch all of these pictures in here or not. They're a little difficult to see, but there's Ellie, and not Ellie.
That's
Lillian. Right.
And that's Judy, just starting to walk.
Judy,
waving.
Just a baby. Yeah, there she is again. Yep.
And Margaret's in there somewhere. They were both just babies.
Less than a year old. There's Mother cutting the cake, and you'll see
It was her
Mike,
birthday.
Mike and Troy alongside of her, and then Stanley's in the background there over her right shoulder. There he is, yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure what birthday it'd be, but we could figure that out because it was in 1957. Yeah. Oh, okay, now we've on our way from Florida, we went back to Indianapolis then, and they had a party on me, farewell party for leaving to go to Japan. And there's Doris and I at the doorway, on my way, left shortly after that.
They gave you a New Testament, didn't they?
They did. No, the whole Bible.
Oh, a Bible.
Yes.
I know we still have it.